I set up everything to film, got all my stuff, and then now we have gale force winds coming in. There's a storm coming in tonight. I don't know if you guys can see out here, it's starting to get cloudy. It's probably gonna start raining on me. Never gonna see this footage. The GoPro's gonna die like they always do. But today we're gonna talk about something that is super important, number one. Number two, doesn't get talked about enough. And number three, it's something we all think we do, but sometimes we really don't. And it can really affect your fishing day, week, weekend, tournament, whatever it may be. I want to talk about focus.
No, you lose focus in this game for 1 second.
I know.
It's something that we all think we have when we're on the water, and some of us do. Some people are really good at staying focused and paying attention to what's going on. And some of us are good sometimes, and some of us are terrible all the time. But it's something that is very important because it can change the way your fishing day goes. Like I just said, I'm gonna use an example. You guys saw a video of me, myself, and Brent from Inland Baits fishing Dale Hollow Lake here in Tennessee, just outside of Nashville, an hour and a half or so. You guys saw that video. We caught 5 fish that day. I caught 1 fish that day, guys. He caught 4. That day could have been much better. I want to use that as an example because it's a recent video we just did, and it's a video where me and Brent, the guy I'm fishing with, we both lost focus.
You stay focused.
And I talked about it a little bit at the end of that video. If you guys watched, you saw. If you didn't watch, go up here to this link. You can go watch it right now. Don't forget to like it. That video occurred we were fishing, it was late January, early February. I think it was the first couple days of February. Okay, the water temperature was 44, 43 when we got there. We got into some creek arms that were 47, creeping into the 47s, okay? It's still very winter. Of course, you're gonna have slow bites that day. We expect it to be slow bites. And honestly, on some days, 5 bites in the winter would have been okay. I would have been happy with that. But sitting back at the end, we didn't realize this till the end, we could have put so much more fish in that boat, okay? And it's all because we lost focus. Now, this is what I'm talking about. We got to the lake. We got it, launched the boat, we get out there, we make a real short run, didn't even get up on plane, and started fishing. Brent catches one right off the bat on a finesse jig, okay? He's basically throwing a finesse jig, a 1/4 ounce. This is a 5/16. It's basically a 1/4, just a small jig. You guys know, you've seen it, with a craw trailer. He catches it, it's like his second cast, I think. Boom, catches I think it was a smallie. He also caught a spot. Regardless, he caught a fish right off the bat. Boom. Okay, cool. Going down the bank a little bit, he hits another one on a finesse jig. Awesome. I'm over here. I think actually I picked up the finesse jig and tossed it a few times and then went, nah, it's wintertime. I'm gonna throw a drop shot like an idiot. I think I picked up that drop shot, threw it for a while, didn't get anything. I think I picked up a jerk bait for about 5 seconds. Decided I didn't want to do that, and I went to something else. I threw in between these two. The next catch, I'm throwing the 1/4 ounce dark sleeper. I mean, the thing is 1.5 inches long, and I'm kind of bouncing that on the bottom, working it like a jig. Nothing. Then we make a run, short run, maybe 5 minutes across the lake. We're fishing like bluff walls, basically. And Brent hits another fish. Boom, on the finesse jig. And here I am, still not throwing a finesse jig, still on a drop shot, because that's my comfort bait, and I know I can catch fish on that, right? Because I'm a drop shot master. I can catch fish on a drop shot, but I didn't. So we fish around that bank a little bit more, and then we get into a cut inside of this creek arm, a cove, if you will. The water's warmer in there. It's a little dirtier inside this cove, and we switch up totally. Brent goes to throwing this little tiny swim bait. I mean, it's like a jig head with like a crappie like grub on it. He's doing that. I'm still throwing drop shot because, you know, drop shot for the win, West Coast, holler at it. And we get nothing. Nothing. We go over, we're fishing a big bluff wall now. I mean, this wall is almost straight up and under the water. There's no like stairway down. It doesn't shelf off a couple times. It's almost straight down to 40 feet, which is not where Brent had just caught those 3 fish. It should be noted that all 3 of those fish were caught in like 10 to 15 feet, 10 to 12 feet even of water, okay, off of bluff walls that shelved down, okay? All 3 of them caught on the same bait, on the same structure, in the same depth of water. And neither one of us thought, hey, you know what was working? Throwing that stupid finesse jig in 10 to 12 feet of water on bluff walls. Nope. We were in around and I pitched a cover shot and drop shot into timber. We looked for rock piles. I threw a shaky head in 4 feet of water for a while. That was pretty cool. I went through the whole gambit and never went back to the finesse jig. Then, when it was too late, we had about an hour left to fish that day, I picked up my rod that had the finesse jig on it. This one, to be exact, actually this bait exactly, it's still got the line tied on it. This is the Greenfish Tackle, itsy bitsy. It's 5/16 ounce. You guys, I've talked about this jig before. I love it. This is the Inland Baits bottom feeder. I'll show you. If you guys haven't checked out Inland Baits, you should do so, because their plastics are amazing. This is the bottom feeder craw bait. It's a 4-inch. This is ash hole. It's like a green pumpkin with black and like a red flake. It's a beautiful color. It's a beautiful bait. All I did for that finesse jig is I cut off this top little rib here. Cut that off. I took these appendages off so they wouldn't get stuck in my jig. Jig hairs and get all weird, and it looks awesome, guys. It really does. It's flat sided on this side, which is great. Makes it fall flat. The thing stands up still really well, even with this big trailer on it. It was great. And that's what I caught. And I picked up that finesse jig with about an hour left. An hour left of fishing. And I probably made 2 casts. I made 1 cast into about 10 to 12 feet of water, and I got bit, and I swung on it and missed. And then I immediately cast right back to the same area and got bit and set the hook. And guess what? I pulled up a smallmouth on a finesse jig in 10 to 12 feet of water. And then it hit me. That is the point with an hour left when it hit me. Hey man, you realize like all our fish today came on a finesse jig in 10 to 12 feet of water? And then it hit him. He was like, bye Joe, you're right. And then he picked up his finesse jig again, and he made about 2 casts. And then in comes Brent's 4th fish. By now, we don't have much time left. Like I said, we had about an hour. Now we probably got 45 minutes. And we went down, and even still, we went down and finished this cove out. We were in this little cut, fishing a bluff wall that was turning into more of a 45-degree bank. And at that transition is about where I caught that fish, which makes sense. You know, they like the transition. But we continued to fish down this 45-degree bank, even though we hadn't caught a fish, nor even got bit all day on a 45-degree bank. What we should have done is turned around, fished it back, and then went and found more bank just like it. More bluff wall, same way. We didn't do that all day. We didn't even do that at the end once we realized it. We went in, spent the last half hour skipping docks in the fucking wintertime. Excuse my language. Why do we do that? Really, I just want to skip docks because I haven't done it in a long time, and that's my favorite way to fish. You guys know. Paul loves it too. We smash them. But still, didn't get it done. We only ended up with 5 fish. Just given how fast we caught the fish on that bait, in that depth of water, on that structure, he caught his first 2 fish in 10, 15 minutes. And then the third one, probably 20 minutes after that, a half hour after that. Then we totally abandoned the whole thing, and we catch 2 more within 5-10 minutes of each other once we went back to it. What would that day have been like if we would have stayed focused and kept this little jig in our hand and worked all day with it? that was the pattern.
Oh, it might be the pattern.
They were tuned in on crawfish bait, small, they're smallmouth mostly, small crawfish imitating bait that dragging and hopping in 10 to 12 feet of water. And we abandoned that completely. Our day could have been so much better. We could have had a 20 fish day in the middle of winter, in the low 40s water temperature. We could have had a great day. Who knows how many fish we could have put in the boat. And I thought to use that as a good example of staying focused when you guys are on the water. You also have the tendency on real hard days to get discouraged real fast, and that will make you lose focus. Like I said, you start scrambling through baits. You start, not having that positive mental attitude, that fishermen preach. Pro guys talk about it all the time. You can go a couple hours without a bite in the winter. It's not hard. In the summer, in the fall, sometimes you get a bad fishing day. You're post front, bluebird skies. Hard days come, and you kind of have a tendency to get down on yourself and kind of have a, well, this day's kind of shot, I'm just going to cast around. But if you were to stay focused, slow down, figure something out, you might be able to scrape up your 5 for that day. That's always our goal. 5 fish is good. If we were fishing in a tournament, at least we'd have a limit. And that day we had 5, but we could add a lot more. Now, I'm not going to use excuses, but I was out of my element that day. Okay, this day at Dale Hollow. I don't like excuses, especially when it comes to fishing, because it's not hard to figure it out. And that was an easy one. That was a 1 foot putt.
It's time to go home there, ball.
No break. That one should have been in.
Son of a bitch, ball. Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home?
But things that can make you lose that focus. For instance, again, using that as an example, I was on a lake I'd never been on before. I was fishing with Brent, who I had just met that morning. Brent, he's the owner of Inland Baits. Go check him out. I was fishing on a boat, obviously, that I wasn't familiar with, in a state that I had yet to bass fish in. So there were some things there that had me a little off my game maybe. But it's no excuse, because that one was teed up for a beautiful drive, hitting the fairway. That was no excuse. That one should have been hammered. But there are factors that can throw you off of your fishing game. And it's just something to keep in mind. So many things can affect your focus on the water. And if you're trying to catch fish, and that's what you love to do, like all of us, if you're watching me, my dummy head, talk to you over this camera, standing in front of trees, I know you love the bass fish. If that's your goal, is to catch as many fish as you can, you're gonna have to pay attention to staying focused. And reading all those cues on the water. Do it. Make your life much happier when you can boat 20 fish instead of 5, or even 1 fish instead of none. At least you got the skunk off the boat. So that is my public service announcement for today, for this week. Guys, I'm glad you guys are watching. Thank you for all the love and support you've given us recently. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, comment down below, let us know we suck, let us know we're awesome. And if you haven't checked out already, Inland Bait Company, boom, here you go right here, Inland Bait Company, inlandbaits.com. You guys can get 20% off your order on all your soft plastics. He's got a bunch of soft plastics. He's got a million colors. He'll pour custom colors if you guys get a hold of him through the messaging on the website or on Instagram. There's a link to Inland Baits in our Instagram bio. Go check it out. Our code DP20, that gets you 20% off at checkout on all your soft plastic needs at inlandbaits.com. Also, staying healthy on the water. Don't eat cheeseburgers. You want a good snack? You need water. You also need beef jerky. And in that case, you're gonna go to bagabowl.com, right here, bagabowl.com, get yourself some beef jerky. It's the best beef jerky on the planet. If you don't wanna type bagabowl.com and you just wanna hit your phone and go to our Instagram, that's also in the bio. Take you right there. Code DP10, get you 10% off. The best beef jerky on the planet. Stay healthy, drink water, eat beef jerky, bass fish, do the things you love, stay focused. Till next week, I'm out.
Answer me! Suck my white ass, ball!